So let's talk about some common repairs. When a harmonica comes in, what's the type of stuff you're seeing on mostly?
On the diatonics, mostly what I'm seeing is a fractured reed.
Okay.
You know, it's really flat, and every player is different. So every player sometimes blow really hard, some blow not so hard, and so fractured reeds is a big thing for the players that play really, really hard.
And to be very specific, a fractured reed is actually a hairline fraction in a reed. Usually we know that's what's happened because the reed goes dramatically flat in pitch, and if you kind of pull on the reed instead of plinking, it just falls apart.
Right in your eye if
Yeah.
you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just to be very specific, because we do have some new players out there to.
Right, and the fracture is microscopic.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really tell a lot of times by looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't break off so much on their own. They just go really flat.
Gotcha.
And then if you try to play with it on your own, it does plink out. So.
And that's caused from, you're talking about someone who's really just blowing hard on the instrument.
Yeah, and it's caused. Every reed has an elastic limit. Mm-hmm. We say, it flexes only so much before you put it past that. Mm-hmm. And if you attack it really hard and blow it really hard, you'll go past that elastic limit, and the reed will just quit on you. It'll fracture. Gotcha. And it's tough because you love to wail on your harmonica. You want to express yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times a little finesse goes a long way as opposed to just pure volume.
Well, I noticed that as my playing skills developed and the years have gone on, and I've learned how to set up my equipment, and the better you get, the more you're able to listen and to hear both your harmonica and if you're playing with the band, be able to hear the band well as well. And as the years have gone on and my playing has gotten softer and softer, allowing the amplifier or the vocal mic to do the work, my harmonicas exponentially last longer and longer. And my harmonicas easily last for a year before I have to do anything to them. So it really is a testament to exactly what you're talking about. So that you replace the reed and send her back, huh?
Yeah, it depends. If it's a really old harmonica, I might just say, it's time for a new one. Because if one thing went wrong, it's only a matter of time before another thing goes wrong.
Gotcha. Your 150,000 mile heart. Yeah.
Exactly. And that even though prices go up all the time in our economy or whatever, they're still a relatively affordable instrument if you're replacing them, especially one at a time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing that goes that I see a lot in the diatonics is when a reed is when people can't play them because they won't respond to them. Mm-hmm. And we were just talking about how people have different playing styles. Some are harder, blow harder than others, and I don't know how specific you want me to get here.
Whatever feels appropriate.
But reeds have to be at a certain position on the reed plate in order for them to respond to when you blow them. And if you blow hard, a reed has to be a little bit off of the reed plate. So when you blow hard, the reed has to be even further off of the reed plate because it's going to take more air. And if you blow not so much, more easy or more normally, the reed doesn't have to be as far off. We're talking about a gap here, distance, and so if you have a really hard player with a small distance, they might blow into their harmonica and nothing might come out. And so they'll send it in and say, well, it's not working. And really, that's not a problem with the harmonica so much as we just adjust it.
Gotcha.
So
the reed stalls, it didn't even get a chance to and we commonly just know that as gapping, like you were talking about.
Right.
Good.
The probably the third most common thing that I see among diatonics is when people send them in because they have problems with their 2 and 3 draw. And this is a funny thing about harmonica players is, if you play the saxophone and the violin and you're new at it, right, and you haven't ever played it, you pick up the saxophone, you blow into it, what's going to happen, right? It's going to squeak and squeal, and you laugh, you say, I need some practice.
Yeah.
But a funny thing is that when you get a harmonica, you always expect it to just work for you. And so if a harmonica player blows into or draws into a harmonica and they might not get a sound or a pitch might be off, they'll say, what's wrong with this harmonica? You know, they'll say, "What's the harmonica's not working?" Instead of saying, "Oh, I got to practice a little bit."
Yeah.
So, but 2 and 3 draw are notoriously difficult to get a good sound from, especially for a player that's been out of it for a while or a novice, and that's because the resonation for the harmonica happens in the human head. It's where it all happens, and we're not really used to using an instrument, especially to inhale with it. And we're used to sucking through a straw at a shake at McDonald's, and if you do that, you tighten up all your muscles, and you
Raising
don't have
the back of the tongue.
right, and you don't have the resonance in your head that's going to make those notes sound good. They just don't happen naturally. That's what they call technique. So a lot of times I'll get harmonicas back that are just pretty fine. We just have to give a little education to the player that if they open up and I always say inhale through your mouth and nose simultaneously, because that forces you to get your sinuses open, and it's a real easy way to tell that the harp is really working.
Got you. Not a normal everyday technique for playing, but a way to just
a way to do
prove
that.
that
Yeah,
the harp's just fine.
in the technician world, yeah.